Good afternoon and welcome to St. John Fisher College. Another Empire 8 doubleheader here for you today on Cardinals All Access. It is the last game of the regular season for both the Fisher men and women. Mark Rubin alongside Kyrie Demos on the call today. Tony Capps, Alec Richardson here as well on the broadcast. Great to have you with us. We start with the men here at 2 o'clock, the women to follow at 4. And for the Cardinals, they took care of business last night. With that win, they wrapped up first place in the Empire 8 and home court for the Empire 8 tournament here next week. But Kyrie, they still have some unfinished business with this Stevens team, don't they?
Definitely some unfinished business. Trying to avenge a January 29th loss to Stevens, the last loss for the Cardinals on the season so far. So definitely going to be interesting to see how the Cardinals come out today on Senior Day.
Cardinals picked up their 19th win last night, 19-5, 13-2 in the Empire 8. As you mentioned, Senior Day for the Cardinals. So a pregame celebration for that. Tyler Hart, the senior from East Greenbush, is being recognized with Coach Cornicker out at midcourt as we speak, and Tyler's folks are coming out to be greeted as well. Can't say enough about what Tyler has done for this program over the last 4 years.
Yes, Tyler Hart has been a very, very influential player on the offensive end of the ball, but just a very complete, well-rounded player and coming into his own here in his senior season.
We're listening to the PA now. 859 points for Tyler, 859 and counting, I might add. A few more games left in Tyler's career, but it just gives you an indication of what he's meant. And some of the things you can't know about a guy like Tyler from hearing the stats are the things he does and when he does them. How many big shots has he hit for this team? Too many to remember at a time like this.
Absolutely. And the thing I think that is really, something that people don't appreciate is the different roles that Tyler Hart has had over the years. He's first initially being a spark plug off the bench as a sixth man, and now coming to his own as a starter, as the point guard here for the Cardinals. So definitely interesting to see how he's transitioned over the years.
Fellow senior Chaz Lott being recognized here during the pregame as well. Chaz has had an amazing career here at St. John Fisher, over 1,000 points, a great assist man. He does a lot of those intangibles as well. But as we see, by the way he's dressed, Chaz is not playing today, and he's been injured, and that's sort of been a sort of marred his senior campaign, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely been tough to see what Chaz Lott has gone through his senior season. All the attention coming in, being an all-region player last season, helping the Cardinals get to, the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. And, he's been such a successful player here for the Cardinals, but, he did some things here in the senior season, but it's tough to always see a player go down like that with an injury in their last year.
Nevertheless, it's wonderful to see him recognized here at midcourt here before the game today. And it goes to show you just the kind of career he's had. It's a long list of accomplishments we've got to read off here for Chaz.
Yeah,
as you mentioned, an all-regional player a year ago.
Yeah, when you start for 4 years, it's definitely some accomplishments will come along with that. And really, it's just a testament to the player that he's been, the program that he came out of in high school, and just the things that he's done to provide for this program.
Chaz Lott, hailing from Wenatskill, went to Christian Brothers Academy, as you mentioned, a top program. And posing with Tyler Hart for a couple of photos here. And now both teams will head out to their respective foul lines, as those in attendance will rise to their feet. As we do before every game, we will pause here on Cardinals All Access to honor America with the playing of our nation's national anthem here inside the Manning and Napier Gymnasium in Bobby Wanzer Court on a beautiful sunny and, by our relative terms, warm day here in the Rochester area. And we pause now as we reflect on our country with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. And the teams greeting and exchanging pregame handshakes at center court. Now it's time, Kyrie, to take a look at the starting lineups for both sides as we get set to get things going. Stevens Ducks are in their road whites with the maroon and gray trim. They'll send out 5'9" junior guard from Reddington, New Jersey, number 4, Evan Klimchak. 5'10" sophomore guard from Oradell, New Jersey, number 10, Chris Cosgrove. 6' junior guard out of Long Valley, New Jersey, number 15, Patrick Barron. 6'4" senior forward out of Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Alex Lorenz. And a 6'5" freshman forward out of Monroe Woodbury in New York, number 35, Ryan Coffey. Head coach for Stevens is Bobby Hurley, assisted by Waleed Fareed, Michael Collins, and Ben Martinez. For the Cardinals, a familiar starting 5. The senior, he was recognized before the start of today's game. 6 foot guard out of East Greenbush, number 2, Tyler Hart. 6'4" sophomore, sophomore guard out of Lockport. Had a career high 22 last night, number 3, Tyler English. 6 foot sophomore guard out of Schenectady, number 23, Alex Sawsville. 6'6" junior forward out of Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, number 33, Zach Ottaway. And the big man, the reigning Empire 8 Player of the Year, 6'8" junior forward center out of Plattsburgh, number 44, Keegan Ryan. Of course, the Cardinals coached by Rob Cornicker, assisted by Sean Coffey, Chris Sullivan, Tony Lindsay, and David Borelli. And the Cardinals in the home Cardinal, the Cardinal uniforms today with the gold trim and white lettering. It's a look we don't often see here on the home floor, but they've got it going today. Stevens in their road whites. And the Ducks are out on the court, ready to roll. Cardinals getting some final instructions from Coach Cornicker. Your final thoughts here, Kyrie, before we tip this thing?
Definitely just going to be an interesting matchup to see here. You know, the Cardinals, hot right now. They haven't lost since their last time playing against Stevens on January 29th. So definitely going to be an interesting matchup here, and we're going to just see how they come out here today on Senior Day.
Cardinals undefeated on this floor this season at 11-0. Want to mention, if you're with us here at Cardinals All Access, you're in the Rochester area and you got to hop in the car and drive around and run some errands this afternoon, you can stay up to date on the game. ESPN Radio 95.7 has got the call with G. Battaglia and Dan Borello, so you can catch them as well. Meanwhile, we are underway as Stevens controlled the tap, and Ryan Coffey got the game's first bucket. Stevens in that tight man defense as the Cardinals get set to go. Already you can see with Evan Klimchak closely guarding Tyler Hart, this is up a notch from where we were last night. Stevens is a different kind of opponent than the Cardinals faced last night against Hartwick, where they breezed.
Hartwick was a very offensive-oriented team, but you can see the emphasis early on is the defensive side for Stevens.
And I say breezed for the most part. The final score was an 8-point game, but they had a lead as large as 21 points during that game. Shot is no good. Sawsville with the rebound. Hart looking down low for Ryan. Has the height advantage. He will go in, throw it up. No, can't get it to go. And that rebound pulled down by Lorenz. Quickly the other way comes Stevens. Unable to convert was Coffey. Rebound out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cardinals. Ottaway with it, looks inside for Ryan. They're trying to get Keegan going early, and he is fouled on the way to the rim. They'll get Alex Lorenz on that one.
Never a bad option to get it down low to Keegan Ryan early on in the game to set the tone.
So Ryan will head to the line for a pair. Ryan rattles them both in to tie the game at 2. Just underway here on Bobby Wanzer Court on Senior Day for the Cardinals. Glad you're with us on Cardinals All Access. Shot is up and too strong by Patrick Barron. Rebounded by the Cardinals. Hart for 3, in and out. And running the lane was Lorenz. Could not get the layup to go, but did draw the foul. That one goes on. It's an offensive foul. They've got Lorenz. So Lorenz picks up his second and immediately comes out of the game. Checking in for him is the big man Thomas Cook. 6'5", sophomore out of Belchertown, Massachusetts. Down low, they look to Ryan. Poked out of bounds. Off the Ducks, we'll say at this end.
As we mentioned before, just a much slower pace tonight so far early on. And, you know, it's really what Stevens' game is. They want to grind it out, make you work for every possession on the offensive end. Inside
to Ryan, it's knocked loose. Hart is there. Gives to Sauceville. Elbow jumper is short. Follows his miss and lays it in. They teach you when you're young to follow your shots, and that's what he did there, Kyrie.
Yeah, great hustle play there by Alex Sauceville, grabbing his rebound and putting up the left-hand layup.
So Sauceville gives the Cardinals a 4-2 lead. Answering at the other end is Evan Klimchak. Scoop layup ties the game at 4. You can see Klimchak is an aggressive defender. Ottaway left alone. Got it. He's a big man with a great touch.
Yeah, his game really is evolving, and he's becoming a much more reliable three-point shooter, but, you know, just expanding his range this season.
Sauceville there defensively. The drive is up and in. Beautiful take by Patrick Barron. Going to his left, but scooping it in with his right hand. Used his body to shield off Sauceville on his way to the rim.
Yeah. And it seems like this game's pace is picking up a little bit as Keegan Ryan finishes with the layup underneath. It seems like the game's picking up a little bit offensively on both ends, and it seems like this is the pace that the Cardinals want to play at.
And this is what we expect with Stevens as well. They like the up-tempo game. They score in bunches. So we'll see. 9-6 Cardinals to begin with. And now a jumper from Coffey makes it 9-8. English drives and gets it to go. Played with enormous confidence last night, and that was a confident drive there.
Yeah, that move there was very similar to a lot of the moves we saw last night. Just a very aggressive take by Tyler English, fighting through contact, finishing with the layup.
So back and forth we go. Klimchak gets another basket. 11-10. Hart drives. A lot of contact on the way in, and he somehow got that layup to fall.
Yeah, don't know how he got there through there and muscled it through, but Tyler Hart, great finish there.
So he takes the harm, gets the hoop. He'll have a foul shot to complete the three-point play. Evan Klimchak is assessed the foul, his first, team's third. That's what we've come to expect from the senior Tyler Hart. We know he's a great three-point shooter, a great foul shooter, but he is not afraid to take it into the rim and mix it up with the big boys as well.
Yeah, his offensive game is really just coming into his own right now, and he's really finishing and attacking and knocking down threes as well, so he's becoming a lot more complete offensively.
Ottaway snared that rebound off the Klimchak miss. Ryan at the other end spins baseline and lays it up and in. That's Keegan Ryan at his best.
Yeah, when Keegan Ryan makes a move and goes to the basket aggressively, there's not many defenders that can stop him.
Coffey gives off. Shot is up. It's altered. Kevin Florio into the game. Could not get that first shot to fall. Tried to follow his miss, but it's out of bounds over to the Cardinals. Hart working his dribble. Off to Ottaway for another three. Had a nice rotation, but did not fall that time. Cardinals lead it by 6, 16-10, as we approach the 14-minute mark. Shot is up and off the rim. Kevin Zychowski could not get that one to fall. Hart looks to answer, misses, follows his own shot, but saved it in to Florio, or Zychowski rather, who was right there for Stevens. Klimchak in the corner for Coffey, drives into the lane, puts up a little baby hook. No. Rebound down to Sausville. Stevens doesn't waste any time at the offensive end. They go right to the rim.
Yeah, and that could be a double-edged sword because there are times that they could put up points and numbers with that, but if their offense isn't flowing, then you're giving the Cardinals more possessions on the offensive side.
Sausville right down Main Street for two more. The lead is 8.
Talk it out! Talk it out!
Subs in for the Cardinals. Daniel Morales, number 33, and number 5, Tyler Farrell, the sophomore out of Hilton. Morales from Valrico, Florida. So Coach Corniger goes to the bench. Thomas Cook back in for Stevens as well. Short jumper would not fall for Zychowski. English quickly the other way. Farrell saves it to Morales. Kicks it out to Sausville for 3. Got it. And Stevens wants time. The lead is 11 as Sausville has 7. 21-10. Cardinals on top at the 12:45 mark. You go back to that game on January 29th. We know Fisher has not lost since then. Stevens lost their next 2 games after that. They put up 102 points that night. Their second highest, actually third highest output of the season. Heading into last night's game in Nazareth. Farrell to the ground, back up. Florio drives. Kicks it in the corner, 3 balls up, it's short. Loose ball rebound, corralled by Ottaway. That shot by Chris Cosgrove caught everyone surprised by just how short it was. Caromed off the front rim.
Yeah, that last possession really just seems to be going with what's going on with Stevens right now. They just seem out of rhythm offensively, not finding any flow. And they've been scoreless for the last few minutes here.
Patrick Barron, the junior guard out of Long Valley, New Jersey, checking back in. Barron and Klimchak are the leading scorers for this Stevens squad, averaging a shade under 18, both at 17-7 a game. An alley-oop for English. They worked a couple of those last night, Kyrie, and another one there.
Yeah, just a great play to get an athlete a shot that, it's a good, very good look for him. And Tyler English, very aggressive and athletic player.
And Tyler English can really sky. 6'4", and he can get up there. Yeah. Very athletic. Pass is stolen by Stevens. 3 ball, no. Morales gives it off for Sausville for 3. Got it. So Sawsville feeling it here. Early in the first half, he now has 10 already, including a couple of three-pointers.
It's tough to stop the half-court three-point shot, but a transition three is those are the looks that Alex Sawsville is getting right now. And those are definitely some tough looks to stop.
Cosgrove with another miss there for Stevens. And Morales, as he does so well, grabbed another rebound. That time English misses. Stevens quickly the other way. It's Florio driving, draws the foul. He'll head to the line for a pair. That one to go against Ottaway. Keegan Ryan checks back in for Ottaway. The freshman, Ryan Henderson, out of Casanova, checks in as well, as Tyler English gets a breather. And they say that foul was on the ground, so Stevens will inbound. It's not a shooting foul. Drive by Barron, up and good. Undeterred to the rim there.
Yeah, very easy lane and attacking with the right-hand layup.
Henderson in the corner. It's Sawsville for three. That was short. Henderson tried to follow the miss, but couldn't get the reverse layup to go.
I think that may have been a heat check by Sawsville there.
Turnover by Barron. Comes to Farrell. And now the Cardinals reset with Farrell. Ten to shoot. Sawsville with it. Gives to Henderson. Sawsville back to Henderson for three. Too strong. Rebound controlled by Florio. 6-foot guard skied for that rebound. Klimchak now, checked by Morales. Bottom of the net for Klimchak. Cardinals lead 26-14 after that made basket. As the clock ticks under 10, 9:25 to play here in the first.
Now, I know the Ducks have scored on their last two possessions here, but it seems like the emphasis really is on the defensive side of the ball now for the Cardinals, as they gave up their highest point total of the season last time against Stevens.
Sawsville for three, too strong. Rebound to Klimchak. Pass by Cosgrove is controlled along the baseline, and the jumper is knocked in by Michael Signer, 6'5" junior out of Rockaway, New Jersey. And a timeout for Coach Cornicker. He's seen enough. 26-16. The lead is 10 with 8:44 to play here in the first. So Stevens with a little mini run right there, and Coach Cornicker just said it's time to talk things over.
Yeah, it's definitely a time to settle the Cardinals down. They've given up some easy looks on the last few possessions here, but early on, 10-point lead. The Cardinals are in a good spot, but they need to build off this from moving forward from here.
Stevens has struggled offensively to get their shots to fall prior to these last couple of possessions, but I would say overall the game is being played at Fisher's pace. I think the way they like to play, especially here on their home floor, this game is kind of right where they want it. They've got 26 points with shade under 9 minutes to go here in the first, and Stevens only has 16. So they're getting the job done really at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, they're forcing Stevens into some tough looks, but not only that, once they're missing those shots, the Cardinals are getting out and running, and they love to run here on this home floor, and they've been able to do it all season. So they're really playing their game right now, and they're going to continue to try to make that an emphasis here in the game.
In these last couple games, Kyrie, we've seen them go to the alley-oop now 3 times. Hadn't seen that, at least here, at any point prior to that this season. I have to say it's a fun wrinkle to see them go with.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's very interesting. But, when you have some athletes like Tyler Farrell and Tyler English and Daniel Morales, they're very athletic guys, so you got to use them, use their talents to, the best of your advantages.
Signer couldn't get the layup attempt to fall, so the Cardinals maintain their lead. Henderson looks inside to Ryan. Gives back to Farrell instead. They work it around to Hart for three. Too strong. He rushed that one a bit. But Farrell grabs the offensive rebound. Another chance for the Cardinals here. Ryan runs right over Signer, and they'll get Signer on the foul. Just didn't give Ryan the room he needed to operate. Checking back in, Thomas Cook, along with Jonathan Lee, 5'11 sophomore from Kings Park. Ryan looked down low to Farrell, who couldn't quite handle that pass. 7 to shoot. Morales from the corner, got it.
Morales hasn't shown to be truly a jump shooter yet at this stage in his career, but over the last few games, he's provided a little bit better of a percentage.
Maybe a hint of what's to come for him.
Absolutely. Hopefully he continues to improve there.
As he gets better and gets more minutes, he's getting meaningful minutes here in the mid part of the first half against Stevens today, and knocked down a big three on that last trip. Hart to Farrell, ball fake, gives to Morales again, down low to Ryan, has the space but couldn't get it to fall. Almost like he wasn't sure where the rim was that time. Rebound to Cook. Ball's out of bounds, they say off Morales, will stay at this end. Tyler English checking back in for Henderson. Cook was blocked by Ryan. And now the Cardinals quickly the other way. English thought about it. Hart in the corner. No. Farrell on the rebound. Puts it up, has it blocked away by Lee, but his foot was on the end line. And so the Cardinals will get the ball back. So good hands defensively there by Lee, but his foot was out of bounds.
You know, it really just seems like the Cardinals are, there's so many second chances, so many second shots on offense. That's really putting the Ducks at a disadvantage, and they're really getting, worked more so on defense than they expected.
Farrell kicks it out to English. Cardinals swing it to Morales. Ducks showing a zone look now here, a little 2-3 zone, trying to collapse it down on Ryan. Hart tries to open it up with a three, couldn't get it to fall. Out of bounds, it'll come back to Stevens. So you can see them there, Kyrie collapsing that zone down on Keegan Ryan, making it difficult for the Cardinals to make that entry pass. Yeah,
they know that the Cardinals have a key advantage with Keegan Ryan down low, but at the same time, they want to force the Cardinals to shoot the three ball. And, they've been successful with it so far this season, but at the same time, it's not an easy look.
Jake Haight is checking in for the Cardinals. The 6'4 freshman from Barker, number 10, along with Zach Ottaway back in the lineup. Morales got a finger on it, but couldn't quite come up with the steal. Klimchak from the corner converts to make it a 10-point gain again. Cardinals 29-19, 5:15 to play. Hart ran right into Klimchak. They say play on. Hart gets it back. Ottaway with it now, gives off to Morales. Hart with it, cross court for English. 5 to shoot, English in the lane, had it knocked away. Good hands by Klimchak. And now Barron away with it, loses the handle. Hart comes up with it. And a chance with numbers if they hurry. Ottaway in the lane, throws it up and in. Not everybody from Stevens got back. The Cardinals made them pay in transition.
Yeah, the push there by Tyler Hart there is really, really what got that last possession there to go for the Cardinals.
Scoop shot by Coffey, no, but a whistle. And they got Haight with the foul, his first. Alex Sawsville waiting at the scorer's table for the Cardinals, along with a couple subs for the Ducks. Sawsville replaces Morales. Checking in for Stevens is Thomas Cook again, along with Kevin Florio back on the floor, and Chris Cosgrove. A little full court pressure from the Ducks. Ottaway picks up his dribble. Cardinals will have to hurry, and they do just get it over the timeline. No panic there, but it did get close. Hart. Cardinals swing it around. Ottaway goes glass. No, a little short. Rebound to Haight. And now another look for the Cardinals. A second opportunity. They've done a good job on the offensive glass, creating some of those second opportunities here, Kyrie. Hart drives. A lefty scoop pass for Sawsville. He is blocked by Cook. And the ball is controlled by Florio. So Cook using his height to get the block there on Sawsville.
Now, although the Cardinals didn't score on that possession, when you have a 10-point lead and you're getting second chance looks, that really is just going to keep the Ducks down at a disadvantage here. And, keeping the ball away from them, a high-scoring offense as they are, those second chance looks are really what's keeping the Ducks down so far in the first half.
Sawsville picks up his first foul. Alex Lorenz with those two fouls has just checked back in for Stevens. We'll keep an eye on him, see if the Cardinals go at him. Haight blocks the ball out of bounds on the Chris Cosgrove drive. We'll stay at this end. Klimchak in the lane, lost the handle, and a whistle. And they're going to get Sawsville with a reach. So two quick fouls on the sophomore. Kevin Zykowski back in for Stevens. Daniel Morales back in for Sawsville. So Cosgrove knocks down the bucket, and that makes it an 8-point game. And then Cosgrove turns around and commits the foul.
Pretty clean so far in the half with fouls and things. Only 9 combined fouls between both teams.
Yeah, 5 fouls for Stevens, 4 for the Cardinals. Neither team in a 1-and-1 situation quite yet. And only 2:45 to play here in the first. English drives. Drew some contact. And it's Cosgrove again. So 2 quick fouls on Cosgrove now. And now Ryan Coffey will check back in for Zykowski. Hard to inbound for English. Cardinals with a fresh clock to work with here. Morales has an open look. That one's off the mark. English tried for the rebound and tumbled to the floor.
English may have got pushed there on that, but no call here by the refs.
Coffey drives, lost his footing, but a whistle. And may have Ottaway on this one. And if they do, which they do, that is number 2 on Zach. And Ryan will check back in immediately for him. Subs checking back in, Zajkowski along with Lorenz for Stevens. Long three from Klimchak, no. Rebounded by Ryan. Hart in the corner for Morales. And now English drives and took a step on the way to the rim.
English really trying to force it inside there, but just a little too much traffic and takes too many steps on the way to the line.
They have forced that one a bit, at least that was Coach Corniker's opinion. Ball's knocked away, Morales with it, ahead to Haight, all the way to the rim, he throws it down. And that gets the home fans going.
Yeah, Jake Haight is a very powerful and aggressive dunker, very athletic player, and he gets out in transition and makes the Ducks pay.
Cosgrove answers for Stevens. (33-26). Stevens within 7 after that three. Hart, foul line jumper, a bit too strong. Keegan Ryan out at the three-point line with a rebound. And now Hart flips it to Morales. Back to Hart. Down low for Ryan. Triple teamed. Cross court for English. They are collapsing on Ryan anytime he gets the ball. Hart for three, in and out. Klimchak tracks down the rebound. Numbers if they hurry. Throws it in the far corner for Cosgrove. Got it. Check that, Zajkowski. And that makes it a 4-point game. 33-29. Cardinals by 4 now with 21.7 seconds left in the half. They will have an opportunity to hold for the last shot here.
Yeah, I think the main focus for the Cardinals in the next possession is just getting the best look available. They seemed a little stymied the last few offensive possessions, and they let the Ducks run out in the last few possessions as well. So, it's a 4-point lead now. Once a 16-point game, so we'll have to see how the Cardinals can do before this half ends.
Well, you got to give Stevens some credit here. Cardinals had a double-digit lead, and we said it moments ago, I believe, it was a 10 or 12-point lead when we said this game is being played just where they want it, and now Stevens has it within 4. Now, scoring-wise, I think it's fair to say it's still at Fisher's pace, but Stevens has found a way to crack that Cardinal defense.
Yeah, the focus for the Cardinals must have been coming in to focus on the defensive end. Giving up 102 points in the last ball game against Stevens. They only 29 to this point, but at the same time, they really seem to be getting a groove. Now, the Ducks really seem to be finding some holes in the defense of the Cardinals.
We'll see what Coach Corniker has drawn up for the final sequence of the half here. Haight inbounding to Hart, Morales, English, and Ryan, the other Cardinals out there. Hart over the timeline. And it looks like the Cardinals will take the last shot here. They swing to English. Back to Haight. Hart pulls up, rolls off, and that will bring us to the end of the first half. After 20 minutes, this game has tightened down. 33-29, Cardinals with a 4-point lead here at the break. So they led by as many as 16 here, Kyrie, and now it's down to 4 at the half. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the Cardinals, the last section of the half there, they really became stymied on the offensive end of the ball, and they really slowed the pace down. And for the Ducks, they really got out and running. You know, they played a little more offensive game there, and you know they were stopping the Cardinals on the defensive end of the ball as well. So you know, a 16-point lead slipping away to 4 down. You know, we're just gonna have to see if the Cardinals can come back and put that emphasis that they had in the early in the half back together for this game.
Alex Sauceville with 10 points at the break, leading the Cardinals in scoring. Again, a 4-point lead, 33-29. When we come back, we will run down the first half scores and get you set for the start of the second half here. Again, the first of 2 at St. John Fisher today. Thanks for chiming in with us here on Cardinals All Access. Back with more after this. Welcome back on Cardinals All Access as we get you ready for the start of the second half between St. John Fisher and Stevens Institute of Technology. Mark Ruba alongside Kyrie Demos, Tony Capps, and Alec Richardson on board with the broadcast today as well. Great to have you with us. We're glad you're watching on Cardinals All Access as we bring you the best of St. John Fisher basketball. 33-29 game at the half, Kyrie. Let's run down the scores before we get some thoughts from you. We'll start with Stevens. They were led in scoring by Evan Klimchek with 9 points. 6 points for Ryan Coffey, 5 for Chris Cosgrove, 4 for Patrick Barron, and then 3 for Kevin Zychowski, and 2 for Michael Signer. Now, for the Cardinals, Alex Sauceville, the sophomore, led the way with 10, 2 of 5 from three-point range, 6 points for Keegan Ryan, 4 rebounds, 4 points for Tyler English, 5 points for Zach Ottaway, 3 apiece for Tyler Hart and Daniel Morales, and 2 for Jake Haight. What jumps off the stat page at you, my friend? 2
big things here. As I pointed out in the first half, the Cardinals with 6 offensive boards versus Stevens with 0 offensive boards. You know, that they're really getting some second shots and keeping the Ducks down while they are, you know, with extra possessions on the offensive end. But also just a poor shooting half for the Cardinals. Only 37% for the field and 1 of 9 from Tyler Hart, the Cardinals point guard. So it's going to be interesting to see if Mr. Hart and the Cardinals can put things together on the offensive side here in the second half.
He typically doesn't stay cold for long. Hart also 0 of 6 beyond the arc. The Cardinals just 4 of 18, 22%. Still, they lead it by 4, and frankly, Stevens hasn't shot it much better at 43%. And as you mentioned, they are winning the war on the glass as well, 22-16 overall, a 6-point edge in rebounding. Cardinals will have the ball to start the second half. Same 5 that started it for St. John Fisher: Sauceville, Hart, Ryan, Ottaway, and English. Countered by Klimchek, Cosgrove, Barron, Coffey, and Lorenz for Stevens. Cardinals work it to Ottaway for 3, who got it. So a good start there out of the locker room.
Yeah, nice drive and dish by Tyler Hart, kicking it out there. And you know, Zach Ottaway, who's been able to provide the Cardinals with the 3-point shot all season long.
Ottaway now has 8. By the way, it's worth mentioning, the Cardinals will host the Empire 8 tournament next week as Lorenz gets the bucket and draws the foul on Keegan Ryan. That's Keegan's first. These 2 teams will meet next Friday in the Empire 8 tournament right here on this floor again. It'll be a semifinal game at 6 o'clock. And you got to wonder what, if any, bearing that will have on what's going on here today. I mean, these 2 teams have played once already and now meeting a second time as Hart drives and cannot get that layup attempt to go. You know, at what point, you know, if you're Stevens, do you say, hey, back-to-back games on the road, we got to come all the way back up here next Friday? At what point do you say, okay, we've seen enough, or do you say, pedal to the metal, we want to send a message to this team today that we're here, we can beat you on your floor, and we're going to come back and do it again? Your thoughts along those lines?
Yeah, honestly, I believe that the Ducks really want to come out and show to the Cardinals that, yes, you guys may be undefeated on this home floor, but you know, when you travel to our place, it was a different story. And why not do the same thing here on their home court and, you know, just send them, like you said, send a message going into the conference tournament next weekend. You know, it's really I believe it'll be another tough ball game. You know, the first ball game, an overtime victory for the Ducks, and today only a 2-point ball game so far. So I believe it'll just be another tight ball game for the Cardinals and Ducks next week.
Well, it certainly seems to be trending that way, as you said. Obviously, an epic overtime game. Stevens scored 102 points on this Fisher team. That's hard to believe in their first meeting back in January. And now today, although the pace, the scoring level seems to be more at Fisher's desired amount, it's a tight ball game. Cardinals by 3, 37-34 after that free throw from Keegan Ryan. So we'll see how it plays out here. 18-20 to go. Still a long way to go here in the second half. Down low to Lorenz. That time blocked by Ottaway. Loose ball comes out to Coffey. And they're going to get Ottaway on the foul. Kind of reached in there. did well to get the block, but then gives up the foul. That's his third. That's a significant one.
Yeah, he's a very key piece to this Cardinals team, and with 3 fouls, he's got to be a little less aggressive on the defensive end.
Cardinals are I think most effective when they can have Ryan and Ottaway out there at the same time. Although when one or the other gets into foul trouble, it seems that Coach Corniger tends to opt for subbing one for the other. So we'll see how it plays out here as Ottaway has picked up his third. Thomas Cook checking back in for Stevens. Cardinals with the ball and a slim 3-point lead. They've led by as many as 16 here today, but that lead evaporated late in the first half, and it's a tight one here as we start the second. Cross court for Hart for 3. Seems like he's forcing it a little bit now, almost like he aimed that one rather than just let it go in his natural rhythm. So another miss.
Seems like Tyler Hart really is just trying to get something going, and just continuing to shoot the 3 ball, even though it's not dropping right now for him.
And another miss as well. So his struggles continue. But as I said at the half, it's hard to keep him down long. He still just finds a way to make big buckets.
Yeah, Tyler Hart really has been a catalyst, ever since the injury to Chaz Lott. He's now been running the point for the Cardinals, and he's been not only their best scorer, but also he's been a very good lead assist man as well. So, it's definitely tough to see that he's gotten off to a slow start today, but, if the Cardinals expect to get a victory, he'll definitely have a big part in that.
Cosgrove's bucket makes it a 1-point game. There's Cosgrove now with 7 for Stevens. 37-36. Cardinals, I don't believe, have trailed since 2-0. So this goes to show you Stevens has really gotten right back into this thing. Ryan down low, short hook, rattles it in. Fisher needed that, and so did Keegan.
Yeah, Keegan hasn't really scored from the field since early in the first half. So definitely a nice way to get him going here in the second half.
So Ryan with 9. That shot by Zychowski is off the mark. So Zychowski with the miss as Michael Signer now checks back in for Cook. Cardinals patiently probing that duck defense. Ryan stuffed at the rim, but now push off. And Keegan's going to head to the line. They got Coffey on that one. Ryan Coffey with a foul. It's the first on Ryan.
So we see here the Cardinals really looking to get the ball inside to Keegan Ryan down low. He hasn't really scored since early stages of the first half, and it really sets the tone as the Cardinals are really trying to get their pace back together here in the second half and get some easy buckets.
Well, it makes sense given the way they've been shooting it from the perimeter. Why not go back to your bread and butter and see what he can do for you? Ryan now with 11 after that second made free throw. And Daniel Morales, number 30, has checked back in as well. Klimchek continues his hot shooting. He now has 13 for Stevens. Cardinals by 3 as the clock ticks under 16 to play here inside the Manning and Napier Gymnasium. Ottaway for 3, rattles out. Klimchek for 3 at the other end, and that one falls. And we are tied now at 41. So Stevens has climbed a steep hill, down 16 at one point. They have now tied the game at 41. Morales on the drive, had it blocked out of bounds. Farrell will check back in for Ryan. Tyler Farrell back onto the floor for the first time here in the second half. And checking back in for Stevens is Kevin Florio as well, as Cosgrove gets a breather. Sauceville wants it, called for it, and can't get it to fall. Had a look, but wasn't able to get it dropped.
It really is just a theme for the Cardinals right now. Offensively, they really cannot get anything going at all.
Coffey gives it back to Florio now, who drives, pulls up. The runner no good. Rebound down to Sauceville. Poked away over to Ottaway. Now back to Sauceville they go. And with this 5 out here for Fisher, Sauceville is sort of the de facto point guard. We've got Sauceville, English with it, drives. High shot off the glass, banks in. You get the feeling he needs to kind of look for that a little bit more, because when he gets going, they're tough.
Yeah, when Tyler English is attacking the basket aggressively, there's not many defenders that can stop him off the dribble with his athleticism and aggressive style of play. So he really needs to take another step for the Cardinals offense here in the second half.
Ducks miss, now the Cardinals miss. Back comes Stevens. Florio to the rim. Throws it in the corner. Three-pointer is up, but no good by Zykowski. So the miss by Kevin Zykowski gives it back to Fisher on the rebound. Sauceville throws it in the corner for English. Ottaway left alone, top of the key, got it. And now Zach with 11. Tied at 41 moments ago. Cardinals have extended again to a 5-point lead, 46-41. Looking for stops at this end as well. Coffey underneath, tried to lay it in, couldn't get it to go. Florio, no on the short jumper, and then Signer inside followed, got it to go, and the foul.
Very crucial foul here as Zach Ottaway picks up his fourth.
And that is number 4 on Zach Ottaway. Sorry to interrupt you there, Kyrie, but you were right on the money. A 4th foul on Ottaway. So Rob Cornicker rolled the dice, and he lost right there. With 13 minutes to play, Ottaway will head to the bench with those 4 fouls.
And as you pointed out earlier in the half, it's definitely different for the Cardinals defense when they have Keegan Ryan and Zach Ottaway at the back end. Such length and size there in that front court. But, when one has to swap up for the other, it definitely becomes a different matchup on the defensive side.
So Signer made the foul shot to complete the 3-point play. Ryan back in for Ottaway. Tyler Farrell in as well. It's Farrell giving to English. Tyler Hart back in. Down low to Ryan, lays it up and in. Ryan now with 13. He's kind of picked it up here in the second half.
It seems like the Cardinals may have to rely on English and Ryan, their offensive prowess so far here. They may need to rely on that in the second half.
Barron flips it out to Lee for 3. In and out. Ryan corrals the rebound. Gives off to English. Cardinals probing that defense. Ducks showing that zone look once again. English with the ball fake, too strong on the jumper. Loose ball, fought for. Morales was there. They say out of bounds off Morales. It'll go back over to Stevens. Lorenz back in for Signer. Cosgrove lost the handle. And a traveling violation. Easy call for the officials there as it comes back to Fisher.
Yeah, got a little overzealous, got a little too pitter-pattery with his feet there, so easy call.
Shooter, Chris. Alex.
Cardinals working around the perimeter for Farrell. Got it in the corner. That felt like a big shot as the lead extends to 7, 51-44.
Yeah, the Cardinals really seem to be making a lot more decisive decisions on the offensive end.
Cosgrove fouled on the way to the rim. He's going to get a pair. That one goes on Ryan Henderson, who had checked back in. So Chris Cosgrove will be at the line for a pair. Evan Klimchek back in for Stevens. Cosgrove makes it a 5-point game with those foul shots. Closing in on 11 minutes to go in this one. Tight ball game between the Cardinals and the Ducks. Down low to Ryan they go. Defense collapse on him. Collapses on him. Back out to Farrell. Back down low to Ryan. Again, the Ducks collapse. Ryan couldn't handle the entry, and it comes back over to Stevens. Cosgrove drives, and he is met at the rim. A hard foul. He will go to the line. That one on Morales. His first, team's 5th here in the second half. That time Cosgrove with a miss as Alex Sarsfield checks back in for Morales. Cosgrove gets the second. Coffey checks back in for Lee for Stevens. Cardinals have the ball and a narrow 4-point lead. Down low to Ryan they go. Throws it back out for Henderson in the corner. That three-point attempt was short. Klimchek with the rebound. Klimchek lost the handle. Henderson hits the floor for the loose ball, then gives off to Farrell. Nice job by the Cardinals. Hart with it. Trouble, pressured. And then throws to Farrell, who is fouled by Barron. Patrick Barron with the foul there, challenging that pass. That's number 2 on Barron. Hart for 3, can't get it to go.
Still can't get it going from deep or from the field for that matter.
And a miss at the other end by Barron. Hart the other way with it. Farrell passed up a look. Sarsfield thought about it, drives instead, gives to Henderson. 6 to shoot. Cardinals will have to hurry here. Hart drives, puts it up. No good at the buzzer. Loose ball rebound comes down to Barron. Quickly the Ducks the other way. Klimchek for 3, no. Rattles out. Rebound to Henderson. I may have called that a hair too early. That thing almost fell, but ended up rolling off the rim.
Just rattled out there at the end. You can truly tell, though, that the pace of this game is really, really becoming, a defensive matchup that both teams know what each other wants to do on the offensive side as Keegan Ryan finishes down low.
Great feed inside for Keegan. He now has 15. You just kind of get the feeling he's going to need to carry this team down the stretch.
He's been really the most effective player for the Cardinals offense so far today, and he seems like he may need to be the catalyst to carry them home.
Coffey missed. Lorenz couldn't get the putback. Ryan eventually grabbed that rebound. Farrell to the rim, no. Rebound by Lorenz. Now Cosgrove ahead. Thinks better of going at Keegan Ryan, gives off to Klimchak. Back to Cosgrove for three. Rattles it in. 53-50 after that made three for Cosgrove. He now has 13. The Cardinal lead is 3 with 8:06 to play. They're not going anywhere, Kyrie. Stevens clearly is giving the Cardinals their best shot.
Yeah, the Ducks really know that this is a game that is going to show them what they can look to do for next week. Now, it may be considered an upset just from seeding standpoint, but at the same time, Stevens did defeat the Cardinals in their first matchup. So, if they can come out today sweeping the season series, they'd have that much more confidence going into the conference tournament.
And even though these teams are playing next Friday, I don't get the feeling that either team is holding something back. I think they're both out here trying to win this ball game today.
Yeah, it really seems like they're just coming out and both trying to play their games. It's definitely a different style of matchup from the first game, but at the same time, both teams seem like they both came ready to play today.
The women will follow this game at 4 o'clock. There's really no drama there. Stevens has wrapped up the Empire 8 by virtue of their win last night at Nazareth. So nothing on the line in that one, other than the fact that those two teams could meet next week at Stevens in the Empire 8 tournament. So it'll be interesting to see how that game plays out as well. But some unfinished business here between the men. Cardinals out of the timeout with Henderson, English, Hart, Farrell, and Sauceville. Ducks counter with Klimchak, Coffey, Barron, Cosgrove, and Lorenz. Hart gives off to Henderson. And then Henderson to English, who goes baseline, puts the shot up, had it blocked by Lorenz. But a whistle. Think they're going to get Lorenz with the body. They say they got him on the arm. I didn't see him get him on the arm, but I did see the contact with the body. Either way, English is at the line for 2. That's a 4th foul on Lorenz, by the way, and he will head to the bench as Kevin Zykowski checks back in. Daniel Morales set to check back in for the Cardinals, but he won't have a chance here as English's foul shot rattles out. 54-50, Fisher with a slim lead here in the second half, 7:30 to play. Barron working on Sauceville. Gives it off to Cosgrove, who just nailed that big three-pointer. And now Klimchak with it, puts it up. No good. Sauceville there for the rebound. Hart had it poked away by Klimchak. Will stay at this end. And now Morales checks in for Henderson. Well, I like the way Klimchak plays defense for Stevens. He is right up on Tyler Hart. And I think that's part of why Hart's had a tough day today.
Yeah, it's been a very tough matchup for Tyler Hart, offensively and defensively. As Klimchak also has 16 points on offense, and he's just been in Tyler Hart's grill all day, and really staying inside the shooter's pocket.
English with the drive, couldn't get it to fall. Stevens now the other way. Barron gives to Coffey at the foul line. Runs out of room with Tyler Hart defending. Tyler Farrell defending, rather. Florio drives. They'll say a foul on the floor. Tyler Hart whistled for the foul. Tyler's first. 16 foul. Next one will put Stevens in the bonus. Coffey drives past Farrell, puts it up with the left hand, no, but drew the foul. Did a good job using his body there to draw the foul on Farrell.
Yeah, it's always tough when, as a defender, you feel that you got a clean look on, with a block. But at the same time, whenever they see the arm coming down, they're more prone to call the foul there.
Keegan Ryan sets to check back in after a breather on the bench. And Ryan Henderson as well, as Morales and Farrell check back out. So it's a three-point game after that made free throw by Coffey. 54-51. Cardinals have the ball and the lead. 6:20 to go in this one. Tyler Hart with the ball has struggled from the field today. Still, the Cardinals with a lead. You get the feeling he may need to make a big shot somewhere down the stretch. Turns it over there as Klimchak comes away with it. Gives it off to Florio, who then feeds Barron, who drives, tried to find Coffey. They say out of bounds, off the Ducks. It'll go back over to the Cardinals.
Good attack into the basket there, but just a little too careless with the ball as it knocks off the Ducks offensive player.
Ryan puts up a long shot and gets it to go. Long two for the big man. Don't often see him out there like that. And then immediately a timeout from the Cardinals. Coach Cornicker wants a full timeout. 5:46 to play. Fisher up 56-51. Stevens has tied it here in the second half. They tied it at 41, but they have never gotten over the hump and taken a lead. But it is close, and we're getting down to that time of the game where each possession really gets magnified.
Yeah, it really seems like the Cardinals are just one step ahead of the Ducks. As every time the Ducks seem to make a little push, little run, even tying it up like you mentioned, the Cardinals just extend that much farther out, even with that jump shot there that Keegan Ryan just knocked down. And also to point out, I believe that's a part of Keegan Ryan's game that most people don't realize that he has. He, is such a bull down low and, such a big body in the paint, but at the same time, he's shown a valuable touch as well from the outside.
He really does have a good touch. We see that at the foul line. He just doesn't often venture out that far in the flow of the Cardinal offense, but he clearly has a nice shooting touch. He just does, as you said, most of his damage down low, and why not? He's so effective down there. Very few teams St. John Fisher faces has anybody that can deal with Keegan Ryan defensively. You see the Stevens team really doesn't, and we've seen what they've done today, where they look to collapse multiple defenders on him anytime he tries to get the ball, and ideally they try and collapse those guys to keep the entry pass from even getting there. Yet he does have 17 points today, so he is finding a way. As are the Cardinals here with a 5-point lead. Nice play by Stevens out of that timeout as Lorenz gets the easy layup. Rare defensive breakdown for Fisher there.
Yeah, just a quick, easy look there for the Ducks, and cutting it down to 3. So as you mentioned before, every possession counts here late in the stages of the second half.
Ryan turns and faces, gives off to Hart. Back to Ryan, puts it up and gets it. And the place goes crazy.
Keegan Ryan.
That's a 3 from the big man.
Now, he's not normally, like I mentioned before, he's not known to shoot it from out there, but when he can, he does it well.
I think he may have been listening to us.
Absolutely, I agree.
Two of us talking about what a great shooting touch he's got. He's like, you know what, I do.
He's definitely looking to put a few more up here.
59-53. Cardinals by 6 now. Ryan has 20. And now 9 to shoot for Hart. As he dribbles in, throws to Sauceville, who feeds Ryan. Can't get that one to fall. Barron at the other end. Got it. And that 3 cuts the lead to 3 as Stevens will take a 30-second timeout here with 4:12 to play. Cardinals still nursing that 3-point lead. The margin at this point, a three-pointer from the unlikeliest of sources, Keegan Ryan.
Yeah, like we were mentioning earlier, you know, Keegan Ryan really is a solid shooter from the perimeter. Didn't know if he had the touch to knock it down from deep, but, you know, he's been a solid shooter from the perimeter throughout the season. And, you know, that's really a part of his game that people overlook, but at the same time, he really can make you pay for it in the long run.
Reigning Conference Player of the Year, Keegan Ryan, and certainly putting that kind of an effort out here today. Cardinals with a 3-point lead and the ball with a shade over 4 to go in this one. Built a 16-point lead at one point in the first half. It has really been nip and tuck since the half when they went to the locker room with a 4-point lead. Stevens now has it down to 3. English with a baseline drive and a dunk. And some passion coming back up the floor as well.
Like I mentioned earlier again, Tyler English, a very, very athletic player. And as we see, Barron knocked down a shot, you know, just under his scoring average today. But, you know, Tyler English with a very aggressive take there. He really needs to be a player that provides easy offense for the Cardinals, you know, getting attacks to the basket and making free throws as well.
Backdoor cut by Sauceville, gets the floater. So Hart with the vision to thread that pass on the backdoor cut. Lead is pushed back to 5. Henderson got a hand in, but Zajkowski was there to keep the possession for the Ducks. Each possession so crucial. Klimchak got it. Back and forth we go. Back and forth we go. Under 3 to play now. 63-60. Cardinals on top. Hart has yet to score since early in the first half. Is there a big shot in the future for him here down the stretch? Sauceville says, I want it. Can't get that one to fall. Great save by Klimchak into Florio. That's one of those plays that doesn't show up in a box score, but it was big as Florio goes glass for 2. And now it's a 1-point game, 63-62. Hart took a shot to the nose there. And a little official's timeout there, but he's okay. Subs in for Stevens. Cosgrove and Coffey back onto the floor. And now Ottaway checks back in for Henderson. So 2:22 to go. Ottaway back in with those 4 fouls. They need them down the stretch. They've got Ottaway and Ryan on the floor together. And it's the starting 5 with Sauceville, English, and Hart.
Come out. 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Sauceville to Ottaway off the bench. Back rim. Sauceville gets a big rebound. And they get it back to Hart. And the home fans applaud that effort.
The Sauceville did so early in the first half with an offensive board. So, you know, getting an extra possession late here for the Cardinals is crucial.
They know how important, these fans know how important these possessions are. 1:45 to play. Cardinals by 1. Stevens has tied it. They have not held the lead since the first basket of the game. Hart drives, gives to English for 3. Got it! And a timeout for the Cardinals. 1:33 to play, 66-62. Tyler English with 12 now. A big dunk and a big three-pointer there here late.
Now, he may not have the numbers as, you know, his career high 22 of last night, but at the same time, Tyler English is playing very crucial basketball late in this game here for the Cardinals. You know, like you mentioned, the big dunk, great three-point shot here late in the game, and, you know, putting the Cardinals up by 4 with a minute and a half left. It's just a little slim cushion, but something to work with here.
English with 12, Sauceville with 12, Ottaway with 11, and Ryan leading the way with 20. They have been the scorers here today for the Cardinals. And now they need a stop at the other end. They need to find a way to stop this Stevens offense because we've been going back and forth now for about the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the Stevens offense is heating up here now, and now with this 4-point cushion, it's definitely not out of the question that Stevens can come back here. But at the same time, they know that this possession really just comes down to execution here. And if the Cardinals want to be able to pull out this victory, they need to get this stop here on the defensive end.
1:33 to play. Only going to be a few more touches for both teams in this one. How they execute will be crucial here down the stretch. Cardinals come out of the timeout with Ryan, Farrell, English, Sauceville, and Morales. So Ottaway's on the bench with those 4 fouls in this scenario. They got Farrell in there and Morales, who's not afraid to get down low and sky for a rebound. He gives them that presence on the glass, even as a freshman. And a near turnover there by Stevens. They dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah, luckily, the Cardinal fans weren't making the call there because they all thought that it was a turnover for the Ducks as well.
It was right in front of them, but they don't have whistles, unfortunately. Cosgrove into the lane, bounce pass for Lorenz, and he got the tough reverse layup to go. 2-point game. Timeout for the Cardinals, 1:09 to go. 66-64. So you can see what Coach Corniker's doing here. He's going to get Tyler Hart and presumably Ottaway back into the game here with an offensive possession. Going offense-defense. Hart has checked back in.
Yeah, playing a little offense-defense game here, and although Tyler Hart has struggled today, he's been the leader for the Cardinals offense throughout the season, and his 3-point range really is something that needs to be attested for, no matter what his percentage is on the day. And as well with Ottaway, being a stretch for pulling some of those big guys out, to the perimeter, that really is an advantage for the Cardinals offense.
The other thing that Hart gives you here in this situation is you can put the ball in his hands. He's an 88% foul shooter. He's the guy you want at the line if they're going to foul. If you get into that scenario where they foul you, you want him at the line in crunch time down the stretch because he hardly ever misses. So the 5, Hart does check back in. Ottaway remains on the bench as Farrell stays in the game. 12 to shoot. Sauceville being hounded by Klimchak. Back to Hart. Now 6 on the clock. Big spot here. Hart in the corner for Farrell. Too strong on the attempt. Rebound. Fought for and controlled by Klimchak. Over the timeline with it. Into the lane. Puts up the floater. It goes. It's tied at 66. So a foul there by Kevin Florio on Tyler Hart. Just their 6th team foul. Next one will put them in the bonus. That gives them the opportunity to sub in a couple players along with the Cardinals, who bring Ottaway back on the floor. Sauceville inbound right in front of our broadcast location. Hart with the ball. 2-second differential, game clock, shot clock, tied at 66.
Cardinals are going to look to take the last shot here.
You got to think
the best look available.
Got to think that they're going to go milk as much of that clock as they can. They don't want Stevens to have an opportunity to answer. They want to take the last shot here, and if anything, a miss sends it to overtime. Cardinals with a timeout here. Coach Corniker will draw up the play. Look, they've got tons of options. Easy for us to speculate where they may go, but they could do a lot of things here.
Yeah, personally, I believe the best route would be going with a pick and roll with Tyler Hart and Keegan Ryan. With you can't really play either side of the ball too aggressively, because if you sag off of Hart, he can pull up the jump shot. If you play 2 up on him, he can attack the lane and either take it to the hole himself or dish it off to Ryan or kick it out for the 3. So there are so many different looks here that the Cardinals have.
Kyrie, we've talked about it throughout the broadcast here, where Tyler Hart, who is usually such a sure shooter, has had, by his standards, one of his worst shooting games of the season. And yet, with 18.2 seconds left, I wouldn't hesitate to put the ball in his hands and see what he can create. Maybe he gets a look for Keegan Ryan. Maybe he threads one for Sawsville or English. Or if he gets a crease, maybe he takes the shot. I'm okay with that. What about you?
Yeah, no, definitely he's been someone that you've been able to rely on, especially in this hottest streak for the Cardinals throughout the season. You know, when Chaz Lott going down, Tyler Hart picked up things up as the point guard for the Cardinals. So definitely won't hesitate to get the ball in his hands.
Here we go. 15 seconds left. Hart has the ball, looking to create. Now under 10. English with it. Hart with it. 2 to shoot. Gives it off to English for the bucket. And you have to wonder if they had that one in the hip pocket the whole way. Because with 2 on the shot clock, Hart penetrated, found the cutting English for the easy lay-in, and a 2-point lead, 68-66.
Now, like I said before, Tyler Hart has been a player who's been known for a very effective jump shot. So he got into the Stevens defense, got a good jump shooting look, but got Tyler English the ball down low, using his great athleticism and length with the finish there. Very great play to finish. Getting a bucket and putting them up by 2 with 3 seconds off, it's going to be very tough to see what the Stevens offense can do here.
They've got time. Stevens has time, and the danger here in this scenario with 2.8 seconds left is because they don't have a lot of time to work with, that they could end up shooting one from beyond the arc. A 3 would win the game at the buzzer for them. That's something you have to obviously be aware of if you're the Cardinals. At the same time, the last thing you want to do is foul as well. Yeah. So they've got their work cut out for them defensively. Stevens has enough time to get the ball in, make probably a pass or 2 quick ones at the most, and they've got to get a shot up. Where that shot comes from on the floor says a lot. It could be beyond the arc, a chance to win, or they could try to find a way to get it down low with a long outlet pass and try and get a bucket to tie this game and force overtime. I think in this scenario, you got to watch for a three-pointer. I really think that's what we may be looking at here, Kyrie.
Yeah, and especially as effective as the Ducks have been on the season with behind the three-point line.
Okay, it was Cosgrove's to inbound, but now a timeout by the Cardinals. So Fisher got a look at the alignment, and now they can do some figuring defensively. A couple things I saw. Cosgrove on the inbound pass. You saw Zakowski was all the way at this end of the floor in the corner, setting up for a three-point look.
Now he's been able to knock some down here in this game, so the Cardinals definitely need to be aware of that, and Coach Corniker was aware as well, just taking the time out here. So we'll see how they come out and align defensively against this Ducks offense.
So now it'll be interesting to see as the chess match plays out here. Does Stevens shake up what they do? As they come back out of the timeout, you can see they've got Cosgrove, Klimchak, Lorenz, Barron, and Zakowski here in the corner. He's still at this end of the floor on the perimeter. He's getting an earful from the Cardinal fans as well, which doesn't seem to be bothering him. This Stevens team is ready. I mean, it's really a sort of a no-lose situation for them. They know they're coming back here next Friday. They knock down a three-point. They walk out here with a win. It doesn't fall. They walk out of here knowing they played the Cardinals tough on their floor. For the Cardinals, though, you know they want this one on Senior Day. Here we go. Ball's in to Cosgrove. Runs the baseline. Finds Klimchak. Time running out. He's got to put it up. No good. And the Cardinals win. Alex Sawsville was there defensively as Klimchak's shot caught the side of the backboard at the buzzer, and Fisher walks away with a win, 68-66.
Yeah, Sawsville was just in Klimchak's pocket, just enough to get him off balance, make him force him to take a tough shot, and with 3 seconds left on the clock, that's a very, very tough look,
And a couple of things I thought really factored into the way that played out. The inbound pass, we saw Cosgrove run the baseline there, and then he found Klimchak, who was running toward the sideline. He was running out of real estate, and it was difficult for him to control that inbound pass. He did manage to control it without going out of bounds, but had very little time to get into the front court and try to get that ball up to the rim. Sawsville was there defensively, and it adds up to a victory for the Cardinals. So a tip of the hat for that Cardinal defense in that endgame scenario there.
Yeah, Sawsville, definitely got Klimchek to take a few more seconds off the clock than he expected. With force using the sideline as a defender almost, and getting him to turn out and take a tough shot there. But it really just sets the stage for next week.
Yes, it is.
How would he wear a purple shirt in this gym?
But it really just sets the stage for next week.